Yes, people, welcome back to FPL Hive, where we are back from the international break and back with a bang. Game week 8, team selection. Let's see what I'm packing as I'm in the top 350k. I'm looking at the fixtures this week, and I don't think there's many easy fixtures. I think Man City at home to Everton is potentially an easy fixture, but it's still a game that I can see, Man City conceding in, but winning 2 or 3-1. So I've gone with double Burnley. Obviously, you can see on my bench at the moment, I've got Nico Williams and Konsa. Well, Nottingham Forest are playing at home to Chelsea. Early kickoff. I think Chelsea score. And Ezri Konsa away at Tottenham Hotspur. I've already got Van der Ven. So the defence kind of picks itself. I'm going to go with a double Burnley defence. I know that last year they've kept a lot of clean sheets in the Championship. They're now coming up to the Premier League and they're playing a team that's also come up from the Championship. And despite Leeds looking pretty good this season so far, I've got to give them the credit. I'm hoping that Burnley can shut them out with a 0-0 or a 1-0 win at home. Yes, it's a lot of hope, but I think with the team I've got right now, as you guys can see, it's the best option I can go with. You've got Gabriel starting, but at the moment, Gabriel's price is just rising and rising and rising. And I'm hoping you guys got him early because I did. And this guy is a mainstay for the whole season. Clean sheet effect, differential points in terms of DEFCON, and also a set piece threat as well. He's nailed on whether he's playing home or away and whoever he's playing against. And then I've got Van der Ven. I think Tottenham has started conceding a few more goals lately, and they're not looking as assured as they were when Thomas Frank first came in. But I do fancy them to win the game against Aston Villa and potentially keep a clean sheet. We know that Ollie Watkins had a little bit of a knock for England. I think he'll be fit to start for Aston Villa. But, I'm not fully confident that Tottenham can keep a clean sheet, but I'd rather go with the percentages, which is, I know a lot of people own Van der Ven or Pedro Porro, and they're going to start their Spurs assets. So if they start them and they succeed, I'm in with it. If they start them and they don't work out, I'm also not working out with them. So I'm going to keep that with my defense for game week 8. As you can see, people, the 4 picks itself. And Joshua King, don't get it twisted. He's been very good for Fulham. He should probably have more points accumulated over the season so far, but he hasn't. But this midfield for me picks itself. You've got Antoine Semenyo, Saka, Kudus, and Gakpo. So let's start with Semenyo, because Semenyo for me has been one of the players of the season. Left foot, right foot, dribbling, creativity, goal scoring, finishing, just that main staple in that Bournemouth team that when you look at their attack, you always feel like Semenyo is involved in some capacity. And look, the returns we had just before the international break in the home game against Fulham were marvellous. I know that Statman Baines, who does this channel with me, was hurting. He was bleeding. Guys, you should have seen the messages I was getting at Friday, 10 p.m. that night. He said, why didn't I believe in you, Ty? But then again, he can answer that when he does his team selection. But people, Antoine Semenyo is a nailed-on player. And I think the tricky thing for Semenyo and owners of him, if you're getting him now, don't expect a big return because Crystal Palace defensively, I've got to give them respect. Mitchell, Lacroix, Richards, Guehi, Munoz, they're solid. They're well-drilled. They're unbeaten they were unbeaten in 19 games before the defeat to Everton. So when you look at Crystal Palace, they're going to look to respond. It's going to be a tough game for Bournemouth, and there won't be a lot of chances for Semenyo. But it's for the long haul, so he has to start, and he's on penalties. Saka, well, we know that he's back in the groove now. Scored for England in the international break. Scored for Arsenal, a penalty on his 200th appearance. And I'm hoping he can keep the drink flowing because Fulham are without a striker. No Jimenez, no Muniz. I expect Arsenal to dominate quite a lot of the ball, which gives Saka opportunities in the final third. Tight, close control, dribbling, getting crosses in for Gyökeres, cutting in on his left foot and shooting. Also on corners as well with Declan Rice, so he can get opportunities from corners to get set piece, assists and stuff like that for Gabriel or Saliba or whoever it is. So when I'm looking at Saka right now, I think he's a nice option to have. And a lot of people don't quite have him. He's not the most owned player when it comes to FPL. You're looking at him right now, 11% ownership. So if you can get on him now, I think he could be a nice differential heading into the next few game weeks. I've then got Kudus. Now, Kudus is one of them frustrating players in FPL because he gets you assists, he gets you some goals, then he'll blank. But against Leeds, we saw that he got the goal and assist. And people that held on to Kudus, you have been justified because he keeps chipping away. He's like that person who's chipping away at the wood. You just keep on going. Don't give up because one day you will crack it open. And that is Mohamed Kudus. He is a player that I think for now has to stay in my FPL because he is delivering. Aston Villa have come into a little bit of form so far this season. But with the international break, we know that you're basically resetting the clock. And I'm hoping now for Tottenham, with, Dominic Solanke potentially on the bench. You've got Kolo Muani back fit and available. Kudus is going to have more players to even target in the final third alongside Richarlison. So when you're looking at Tottenham as an attacking package now, they're giving Kudus more tools to succeed, more threats. Kolo Muani, Richarlison, occupying defenders, gives Kudus more space, but also getting them left foot crosses in. I'm hoping Kudus can get returned this weekend, and with the attacking people coming back for Spurs, it only heightens his points potential. Cody Gakpo scored for Liverpool away at Chelsea. I kept him in my team. A lot of people kept him out, but he got me the points. He got me what I needed to get over the 80-point mark for game week 7. But Cody Gakpo for me, the reason I start Cody Gakpo is because when you look at certain fixtures and look at certain styles, there's games that he looks at and he probably targets and says, that's going to suit me. Now, Manchester United, he has a proven record against Manchester United. He cuts in on his right foot and he releases that shot. And you look at Manchester United defensively, been okay, but not quite solid in that right back area. Now, is it going to be Amad Diallo? Is it going to be Diego Dallo? Now, I don't think Diallo is the best in terms of defensively. And I don't think Dallo has been great this season. Fans are becoming frustrated, which for me gives Liverpool an opportunity. They're needing confidence. They're needing goals. It's their biggest rivals at Anfield. Gakpo is a nailed on the left-hand side. He has to start and he'll get an opportunity to cut in on his left foot. I think that one you feel is more a safer pick than a risky pick this week. So that is my midfield for game week 8. And now we're on to the attack, people. And as you can see, there's been a little bit of a switch up, which we're going to get to. But firstly, João Pedro is starting in my team. The Chelsea front man is going to be the main man for Chelsea because Cole Palmer is determined already confirmed he's going to be out a number of weeks now. So João Pedro is going to be the guy that is going to be leading the line for Enzo Maresca. He's going to be relying on the service from Pedro Neto, Garnacho, Enzo, Lavia and Reece James and other players in that final third. And I think with the frailties of Nottingham Forest, it'd be silly to get rid of João Pedro now because when you look at Chelsea's fixtures in their next few weeks, there's a lot of big ticks in them boxes. Sunderland at home, they've got the Burnleys, they've got other fixtures that you look at and you think, okay, that's when I want to target the Chelsea players. For me, João Pedro is a nailed-on start, and I think everyone who owns João Pedro will be thinking the same thing. Now, my captain, well, I'm never changing that because Erling Haaland is in the form of his life. Now, I'm telling you something. Before the international break, he even scored against Brentford, but that was one of his worst starts for a Manchester City season. And that just goes to show you how good Erling Haaland is at the start of the campaigns. And I'm hoping now, going into the second stint after the second international break, this form can continue. You've got Everton at home. And you look at Everton, obviously, with Tarkowski, Michael Keane, Mikalenko, and players like that. They've always got that staple back four. However, without Jack Grealish there to relieve the pressure because he's obviously unknown and he's ineligible to play, I'm hoping that Everton will maybe kind of suffer and Man City will expose their frailties because despite them getting that draw against West Ham in the league, I thought West Ham were good in that second half at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. And it kind of made me think Man City can definitely create chances. Man City can definitely score goals. And if they do, Erling Haaland has to be part of that. Straight captain, easy decision. And now, as you can see, people, there is someone in the claret and blue, should we say. But it's not Ollie Watkins. Watkins out. Jarrod, in you come. Jarrod Bowen is my transfer of the international break. I put Jarrod Bowen in yesterday. And I look at this now and say, yeah, I'm happy with this because Jarrod Bowen, one, I love a player personally that plays on a Monday night. It gives me something to kind of look forward to when the end of the weekend comes. Oh, it's West Ham Brentford. Oh, actually, I've got Jarrod Bowen. He's on penalties potentially. Obviously, Paqueta shares that with him. But Jarrod Bowen is going to be main asset. And you're thinking of him now potentially starting as a striker. Nicholas Füllkrug is out of that game, so we could see Jarrod Bowen playing as a centre forward. I personally prefer him playing on the right wing, cutting in onto his left foot. But either way, we know he's going to be in attacking positions. And you look at West Ham's fixtures over the next few game weeks. They've got Brentford at home, they've got Leeds away, and then Newcastle at home. So I think if you're going to look to target, West Ham players with Nuno coming in as manager and having a couple of weeks training, it is going to be these type of game weeks. I think the Brentford home game, Leeds away, it could be a differential having Jarrod Bowen. He's only at 7.9% ownership. So he is my transfer in for this game week for Ollie Watkins. And now you guys can see my team selection for game week 8. I know you love that.